Hello, friends. Thank you very much for listening. This is Frederick Henry, and you're listening to the Frederick Henry Show, and I want to thank you for listening. Let's get right into it. I want to make a big shout out to a program that I really, really appreciate. It's called Black Conservative Patriot. Black Conservative Patriot is found on YouTube. BCP. Goodness sakes, you get all these things wrong. BCP. I don't have a producer. I am my own producer, folks. Okay, this wonderful fellow has consistently and persistently exposed the news, informed me about many things I didn't know about, helped me to understand many things that I did know about, and been a big supporter of our duly elected and beloved President Donald J. Trump, as he likes to say. That's a quote from him. And so if you have an opportunity to look at Black Conservative Patriot on YouTube, do so. Give him a like, give him a thumbs up. This man is really worthwhile listening to, and I really appreciate him. Now, on tonight's show, we talked about the new Mary Trump, whatever her name is, book. And at the end of it, all her criticism about, he gets to the title, why the Trump family made Donald Trump the most dangerous man in the world. And then he went through President Trump's peace accomplishments, his withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan, elsewhere, his treaties, his Make America Great program, his Mexico, Canada, America trade agreement, all of that. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And then he said, I clicked on the internet to see what her accomplishments were, and he came up with 0 accomplishments. And she calls Donald Trump, her uncle, a failure. And then BCP, Black Conservative Patriot, calls out in the program that she has not seen her uncle in any consistent way for 20 years, and yet she claims to know every intimate detail of his life. How absurd. And then the third thing he points out is when her father, Fred Trump, died, she sued the entire family. When Fred Trump, Donald's father, died, when Donald's father died, she sued the entire family because she felt that she had not been treated fairly in the will. So this is a woman who for 25 or 30 years has had an axe to grind. She has no accomplishments. She's a psychologist, and she now uses President Donald Trump, our dearly beloved and duly elected president, as the means, the springboard for her own success as an author. But she can't write anything. She can just write gossip and tattletaling. You know, every family has tattletales. Every family has gossips. Every family has problems. And although I think her reflections on those problems are her own interpretation of the problems, whether they existed or she's making them up, they are her own feelings, her own insecure feelings, her own interpretive feelings, her own emotional responses to whatever happened in those days, and then covering it with the veneer of a psychologist is just so much bogus. So anyway, a Black Conservative Patriot, wonderful guy, really love everything he does on YouTube. A second person I like to call out is The Still Report. The Still, Still Report. Mr. Still has a long career in journalism. He has a wonderful program. He's not well lionized or recognized, but I listen to him regularly and consistently. He's fair, he's balanced, he's insightful, and he is definitely a pro-America person. So, The Still Report. And he has some really good stuff also on YouTube. Just type in The Still Report. Even if you just listen to it once, my friends, it's worthwhile to do so. Of course, my favorite right now, and you go from favorite to favorite, is Dan Bongino. The Bongino Report and all this. Wow, this guy is hitting it out of the park, out of the ballpark. Home runs every time. Exciting, dynamic, and interesting fellow, and worthwhile to listen to. Quite an ex-Secret Service agent. Used to be a Secret Service agent for the Hillary Clinton detail and the Secret Service when she was being protected by his unit. And really, Don Bongino, wonderful fellow. You might want to listen to him as well. And of course, there's Laura, and there's Hannity, and there's Rush, and so forth. one of the things I want to talk about today is going back to school. We really need to open up our schools. The Europeans have opened up their schools. Not that they're the leaders in everything, but they're a good example that they are having great success at opening up their schools. We have many medical doctors, expert doctors, Dr. Samadi, also the medical panel for the Law Ingham Show, and many other doctors speaking up against the dire revelation, the dire opinions of Dr. Fauci, who probably has not, I can't swear to this, but probably has not treated a human person as a patient in his entire life. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's my opinion of him. Dr. Birx, a former colonel in the military, also colluding, I think, with Dr. Fauci with all kinds of dire predictions, and keep the mask on. I want to say something about the mask real quickly. In the time of the Nazis, they regarded the Jews as a people to be vermin, to be subhuman, to be worthy of eradication, and the Nazis said they must wear a Star of David in yellow on their clothing. And they called upon the population to tell the Nazis who the Jews were, to snitch on the Jews, to spy on the Jews, to contact trace the Jews, and to beat up any Jew who refused to wear a yellow Star of David on their jacket. And the Nazis were fond of making the Jews bow down, give the knee to the superior Nazis. They used the give the knee and kneeling as a form of subjection and control. And the Nazis were very fond of having the Jews grovel, kiss their shoes, polish their shoes, and the like more. And this is all happening again, and it's happening by the modern Nazi. The modern Nazi is not a Trumper. They are Black Lives Matters and Antifa. These are liberals, these are leftists, and these are Nazis. And we must reject them. They're using the same tactics. Now, if George Soros is involved, I don't know, yes or no. But let's always remember that George Soros was a big helper of the Nazis. And he made his initial fortune by helping the Nazis. And he betrayed his own Jewish people in helping the Nazis. And as he says in his own words, it was a very lucrative betrayal. He didn't use the word betrayal. He called it a business. A very lucrative business, betraying his fellow Jews to the death camps at Dachau and Belsenbergen and Auschwitz. Shame, shame, shame. But we're undergoing this now. We have our own traitors, we have our own Judases, we have our own people. And I don't like conspiracy theories, but just start adding it up. Years ago, Fauci saying that in his third term, Trump will face a pandemic. Then the pandemic happens, the Chinese coronavirus, then the world shuts down, and Trump shuts down with the world. Then we have businesses shut down, and then we have Democrat governors, drunk with power, newfound power, asserting all kinds of dictatorial powers. Do not go out, do not travel, do not breathe without a mask, do not go outside without a mask. The mask is the same thing as the Star of David. It's the same thing as the yellow patch Star of David that the Nazis made the Jews wear, because the Jews were vermin, the Jews were germs, the Jews were death, and they must be eradicated. The Jews were inferior. And the Nazis called on people to snitch, and today we're calling on people to snitch. The Nazis called upon neighbors to spy. Today we're calling on people to spy. And the Nazis called on people to beat up those who don't wear a mask. And Antifa and Black Lives Matters is trying to do that. And the Nazis wanted to defund the national police force, the government police force of Hindenburg. And now we have the defund the police force. This is a Nazi plan. Plain and simple. I can't believe that mainstream media are falling for this. I can't believe that academia is falling for this. Other than that academia is part of the problem, mainstream media is part of the problem. And I want to ask academia and mainstream media, you know what happened? Ernst Röhm was Adolf Hitler's brown shirt leader. He was the brown shirts. And he led the brown shirts to beat up people, to storm through towns, to break glass in Jewish stores, to enter Jewish synagogues and desecrate them, to subjugate Jewish people, to chase them around, and to cause all kinds of riotous behavior and havoc in Germany. Adolf Hitler then came in and won the election to be the chancellor, and very soon he turned on Ernst Röhm and the brown shirts, using the black shirts, namely the SS, the Schutzstaffel. And he used the black shirts to beat up and destroy and kill and murder and maim the brown shirts and kill Ernst Röhm. So, if academia thinks that in some kind of new world order they're going to survive, they're not. They're going to be the first victims. Because they were the ones who toppled the old order, the new order will attack them first and destroy them. If Black Lives Matters and Antifa, I think they're one and the same right now. I think Antifa is Black Lives Matters, Black Lives Matters is Antifa. Both of them terrorist organizations. Actually, one organization, both under two names. If they think that they're going to survive the change, if they were able to topple America and end capitalism and establish socialism in America, the first thing the new rulers, AOC and Ilhan Omar and all those, the first thing they would do is destroy Antifa and destroy Black Lives Matters and kill and murder and maim all of them because they're too dangerous for the New World Order. We only have to look at Chop, Chaz, whatever. That's disastrous. We can't do that. Okay, so I called out the Still Report. I called out Black Lives Matters. I want to call out, and we talked about education, the need to go back to school. And sadly enough, it seems like the teachers themselves, the college professors, the colleges, the elementary school teachers, the middle school teachers, the high school teachers, and their representative organization, the Education Union, are backing the continued closing of the schools and keeping the students out of class. Now, we live in a modern age. We have computers. We have all kinds of distance ability. I myself, I put out here, I have attended classes at a online school, Grantham University. I got a master's in personnel management from them, a very, very hard course, very difficult course, but a very worthwhile accredited course. And if Harvard and Yale and Swarthmore and Dartmouth want to give up their education business in favor of the online schools, then go right ahead, live off your endowment, see how long that lasts, because people will quickly learn that they don't need Harvard, they don't need Yale, they don't need Dartmouth, they don't need Swarthmore, they don't need anybody, they don't need Colgate, they don't need any of these schools. They can do it online, maybe not even online, maybe just go to a junior college. As a matter of fact, maybe not even bother with college. Just graduate and then take courses in your selected field of interest. Forget about philosophy, economics, history, college prep courses, college courses in biology and philosophy and basket weaving. And the other day, I heard about a teacher at the University of California who said at 73 years old that she's not going back to school because it's going back to death and to die and to be killed. She's 73 years old. She teaches at the University of California. And you know what she teaches? The history and the methods and the processes of, get ready, the anarchists. Do we need our students to learn about anarchists and anarchy and the playbook of anarchy and how to be anarchists and how to play the playbook of anarchists and how to become anarchists and the philosophy of anarchism? Anarchism is no government at all. Anarchism means everybody is back to the jungle. And we need a college professor to teach our students how to do that? Forget that. And she's not even willing to do it. She won't go back to class because she doesn't want to die of the COVID-19 or whatever she doesn't want to die from. Who knows? So, my friends, we have something to do. And I think what we need to do is we need to stand up and we need to be strong. And I'm going to end it with this comment about my reading today of the Republican Party, namely the congressmen mainly, who today were complaining and whining and wringing their hands and weeping about and lamenting that those no good, stinking Democrats won't let us go to their meetings, the congressional meetings, won't let us go to their congressional